sunshine. Unfortunately, summer weather returns with some pretty high humidity and warmer temperatures. Full look at your 536 forecasts coming up. I believe Americans are willing to work hard, should be able to get a job no matter where they live, in the heartland, small towns, big cities.
Now at 4, Labor Day marks the unofficial end of summer, but there's more meaning behind the holiday. We'll explain. Plus, a local man recounts his heroic actions over the weekend, saving a woman from a burning car. And the local school district suspends a staple at many home football games. We explain what this means. Your news at 4 starts right now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renetta Dubose. Thank you for joining us. Brad and Jenny are off today. Coverage you can count on begins with the death of a teenager at Clarks Hill around 2 this afternoon. Rescue crews were searching for a 16-year-old who was swimming with 3 other kids. 2 of the teenagers were pulled from the water. The other 2 swam to shore. One of the teenagers is currently receiving medical treatment. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office, Fire Department, and Department of Natural Resources are all on scene. You can count on us to keep you updated with this developing story. A man sits in jail after a double shooting in Emmanuel County. After an hours-long manhunt, Johnny Dixon Jr. turned himself in after being shot. No word yet on how he got that injury. Police believe Dixon is responsible for 2 shootings that happened Saturday night. The first one happened on Harrison Drive. One person was flown to the hospital. The second shooting was on Glenwood Drive. No injuries were reported. A Thompson man and his son being called heroes tonight after saving a stranger's life on an Atlanta interstate. Antonio Jackson spent his birthday last Friday at the Georgia Tech football game. Afterwards, he says he and his family spotted a car involved in a crash on fire on I-85 South. Jackson and his son, Devin, rushed towards the burning vehicle, pried the door open, and pulled the stranger out of the window.
The door, it was crumpled up, and me and my son, we just bent the door back. We broke the hinges, and we folded the door back as far as we could, and that's when she was exposed, and she couldn't move. She wasn't moving, but at that time she wasn't moving, but she was talking and screaming, and I grabbed her legs, he grabbed her shoulders, and we got her out.
Both men credit God for their actions. Atlanta media reports the woman went to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. South Carolina Highway Patrol's Deadly Days of Summer campaign ends today. That's where extra law enforcement officers are on the roads and at checkpoints to enforce safer driving practices. The campaign started Memorial Day, and when summer finally ends, September 23rd, the Highway Patrol says that does not mean increased enforcement will disappear. The campaign ends at midnight. Thanks. On this Labor Day, we celebrate the working class and all of those who keep our country running. Kelsey O'Donnell spoke with the U.S. Department of Labor Secretary.
From the blue-collar workers to educators, doctors, and beyond.
This is a day where we celebrate and honor working people across the country.
Labor Day honors all workers who contribute to our society.
It is a day to really stop and think about the working people who carried the country on their backs through the pandemic and who continue to provide critical services, to do critical work.
Acting U.S. Secretary of Labor Julie Su expresses her gratitude to the working class and reflects on our country's growth.
It's also a time to honor the protections that have been hard fought and hard won, right? Minimum wage and overtime, the right to a healthy and safe workplace. And it's a time to honor workers who don't get the holiday, working people who still have to go to work to keep things going.
As we observe the holiday, Sue says our recovering economy continues to look up.
We have seen great recovery. We're also seeing real wages rise, especially for low and middle income Americans. And we are transitioning to a period of what we call steady and stable growth, where it's not like those really hot numbers that people kept saying, oh, does this mean a recession is coming? It's just, steady.
And unemployment numbers, Sue says, are trending in the right direction.
We have record low levels of unemployment. It's been less than 4% for the longest stretch since the 1960s. We're seeing workers come back into the labor market after COVID at record numbers.
On this day, the Department of Labor says thank you for the contributions of our working class that leaders say make up America's strength, prosperity, and well-being.
Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for the ways that you are advancing our country. And I do hope that you get some time to spend with family and loved ones.
Thank you indeed. Columbia County families are making the most of the holiday. Hannah Latier shows us how they are celebrating.
Although summer's not over yet, many people at the Gateway Park splash pad are making this Labor Day one last warm weather hurrah. Since Columbia County students went back to school a little bit earlier this year, those who were at the park were happy to have the day off. The county's 3 splash pads have tried to make up for what it lacks in water parks. And relatives visiting from out of town say this is a lot different than where they're from.
We have a few splash pads, but not like the ones here. We're here for a couple more days, visiting the grandkids, newly moved out. So, good to see them. Haven't been here for a while.
It feels like summer again. It feels good.
While everyone I spoke to was happy to be soaking up the last bit of summer, they say they're done with the heat and are ready for cooler temperatures. In Grovetown, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
Hannah, thanks for that report. He's a leader in Augusta government sharing a personal health challenge. You may recognize Dr. Oliver Page as the Deputy Director of Augusta Transit, but he's also a prostate cancer survivor who knows the value of a strong support system. Augusta's chapter of Zero Cancer sponsors a monthly meeting, which Page says is very important because of the side effects associated with the cancer. He says there's a stigma that makes it difficult for men to talk about.
Possibly to your partner, to your significant other, but in the support group now, there are other guys who are facing similar challenges that you are facing, and so you can learn from them. It's a safe place to talk about what you are going through, and so that's one benefit that I found going to the support group. I would not have had the treatment for my prostate cancer that I had if I didn't go to the support group.
We will have information about the Us Too Prostate Cancer Support Group, plus a big recruitment campaign for the Laney Alumni Association, and a preview of Augusta Symphony's upcoming season with Maestro Dirk Meyer, Tuesday at 12:30 on Jenny. Tailgating at the Burke County Bears Stadium during games is suspended for the rest of the school year. The news came in a letter sent by the school principal and superintendent of schools to parents and alumni. All other homecoming activities will continue as planned. Last month, additional security was added during football games at the high school. We have the full letter on WJBF.com. Labor Day weekend might be coming to a close, but the high gas prices aren't going anywhere. News Channel 6's Graham Lee has more.
90 million people were expected to travel for the holiday weekend. And as some that I've spoke to today say, the gas prices are still too high for their liking. People have traveled hundreds of miles to see family for the holiday. After going from Mississippi to Charleston, he says he spent hundreds of dollars on gas. With close to 10 hours of driving to go, he expects to have paid $50 total for the trip. Hendricks says it's worth it to see the family, but he's still not a fan of high-dollar gas.
I just don't care for it at all because I remember when prices were a lot lower a few years ago, like $2.50 a gallon, and now we're paying $3.50 or more per gallon. So I don't care for it.
AAA says the price of a gallon of regular gas is up about 38 cents from a year ago. So if you're planning on traveling anytime soon, you better be prepared to pay up. In Augusta, WJBF News Channel 6.
Thanks, Graham. Coming up, could a convenient way to get your money be costing you more? Why ATM fees are at an all-time high.
/career.
ATMs are all around us, but nowadays convenient access to your money could come with a price tag. Taylor Young explains we are seeing a new high when it comes to ATM fees.
How often do you use ATM?
Very rarely, maybe once a month, if that.
Once a month, maybe twice, depending on where I am.
Every day, pretty much. For the most part, yeah.
Whether you're a habitual ATM user like Brittany Huskerson or rarely withdraw cash, access to your money is more expensive than ever before.
I can still go with the 250s, but $5 and then you get taxed on top of that for using another bank.
According to Bankrate, consumers are paying an average of $4.73 at an out-of-network ATM, beating the 2019 record by a penny.
You're typically paying two fees here, not just one. You're going to pay the ATM owner. You're often going to pay your own bank as well. Together, you can easily pop up $5 or even $6.
Bankrate's chief financial analyst says the main contributor to higher fees is the spending habits of those who help keep ATM networks afloat. Americans are not only using ATMs less frequently, but they're also turning to credit and debit cards more often.
So as people use less cash, as there are fewer out-of-network ATM withdrawals, cost of maintaining that network is now spread over fewer transactions. That's been a big contributor to the steady escalation in ATM fees over time.
As more consumers are expected to turn a cold shoulder to the use of cash, Bankrate expects ATM fees to slowly but surely continue increasing.
I'm about to stop now.
By the end of our interview, Brittany Huskerson says she plans to change her ways.
Don't be crazy, people. Don't get charged to get your own money. It's not even worth it. Save your coins.
Now, analysts say if Americans continue to use plastic over cash, we could expect to see fewer ATMs in the future. Beautiful weather for the Labor Day holiday.
We're going to have nice days ahead this week. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures just a little bit above average, feeling a bit more humid, but keeping it dry until the weekend. I'll have all the details on your forecast coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 10, happy Labor Day, how people in the CSRA are celebrating the weekend. Millions of people are on the roads today, but gas prices are rising. And also how the CSRA is having fun on this holiday. And the details on how a father and son from Thompson saved a man from a burning car. These and more headlines as your News at 10 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
Good evening, everyone. I am Tiffany Hobbs. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, one teen drowned following an incident at Points West Army Resort. Investigators say 16-year-old Savon Small and 3 kids were in the water swimming. 2 of them returned to shore, but the other 2 went missing. One was found shortly after and given medical aid, but Small's body was pulled from the water. No word on the other teen's conditions. Columbia County families are making the most out of this holiday. Many people gathered at Well, it is time now for a first look at your weather. Here's meteorologist Jenna Petracci. Jenna, what do we have?
Well, we had beautiful weather over Labor Day weekend, Tiffany, and luckily that nice weather continues into the rest of this week. After we had Tropical Storm Idalia impact us last week, it's been much better ever since then, a little bit cooler and plenty of sunshine and dry conditions. So right now it's a nice clear night. Here's a look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam over at Doctor's Hospital. Today's high temperature was 92 degrees. That puts us 3 degrees warmer than it was last Labor Day. But notice over the past several years, we've had temperatures anywhere from those upper 80s all the way to upper 90s, 98 back in 2014. We will not be seeing heat like that this week, but we will be getting a little bit warmer each day. Starting out with some warmer temperatures tonight, notice we're seeing temperatures anywhere from around 2 to 6 degrees warmer than it was 24 hours ago. Right now, putting us in those low 70s. Augusta at 72, 75 in Barnwell, Thompson and Louisville at 73, 74 in Millen, Louisville also at 74 and 76 over in Washington. Clear skies for everyone for now. Tomorrow morning, expect a little bit of fog along with some clouds moving in from the west. We do have this upper level low pressure system that's causing a complex of showers and storms in the Midwest all the way down into parts of the deep south. But this high pressure over us is keeping us dry for now, keeping our winds pretty light, coming in from the south only up to around 5 miles per hour. For your Tuesday morning, calm winds to start the day. As I mentioned, a little bit of patchy fog with a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day as our temperatures make it into the low 90s once again. So a nice rest of the week, above average temperatures just by a tad. Not expecting any major heat, but it will be feeling a little bit more hot and humid. Heat index back to around that triple digit mark, but we are keeping it dry until the weekend. Then we'll bring back around a 20 to 30% chance of rain. I'll have all those details coming up shortly, but back to you, Tiffany.
Thank you so much, Jenna. A McDuffie County man opens up about his heroic act in Atlanta over the weekend. He and his son pulled a stranger from a fiery car on the interstate.
Some people call it heroic, and I appreciate that, but just doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I think.
Not quite donning a cape, Antonio Jackson and his son Devin both found themselves in the right place at the right time to perform nothing short of a miracle.
We went to Atlanta and went to the Georgia Tech game around 6 o'clock.
Jackson, who lives in Thompson, spent his birthday last Friday cheering on his beloved Georgia Tech football team. While the team lost to Louisville, he found another way to win when he and his family hit I-85 South looking for dinner and instead found a fiery crash.
I said, if it's someone in the car, maybe I can give them a hand or something.
This was a moment where it's like, you didn't really have time to think. You just kind of had to do.
The father-son duo jumped out of their truck and began going towards the car on fire while they say others appeared to have given up. With Herculean strength, they opened the car door and rescued the driver, pulling the woman through a window.
There was a lady in there screaming for help, knocking on the windows while the car was on fire and exploded. So I just looked at my son and I said, it ain't too late.
I had a adrenaline rush. I couldn't really feel anything. And the only thing I could think about is, dude, you bench press 400 pounds. Pull this lady out of the window.
Both Jackson men credit God for their actions, with Tony saying his parents taking him to church every Sunday in Sandersville instilled the desire in him to want to do right. They add first responders came and they helped get the stranger into an ambulance. Atlanta media reports she had 9 life-threatening injuries.
Anything that you do, just make sure that it comes out with a constructive result.
Well, not all heroes wear capes. Still ahead, Jenna has your full forecast for this week. And we will take a look at the labor shortages in the 2 states, what a local expert has to say when your News at 10 continues.
What's under your home?
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Let's start out with a look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview Cam over in Swainsboro. It's a nice clear night. Temperatures are pretty warm tonight. We're sitting in the low 70s, 72 here in town with a dew point of 70 degrees as well. Winds are nice and calm. All of us in those low 70s, seeing 73 in Crawfordville and Washington, 74 up in McCormick, Barnwell at 75, 76 in Bamberg with clear skies for all of us. Definitely no rain to worry about either tonight as high pressure is in control, making for nice dry and sunny conditions over the next few days. However, we do have this complex of showers and storms around the Mississippi Valley up into parts of the Midwest. This is also producing some cloud cover, which will track towards the east, bringing us partly cloudy skies tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. Pool planner not looking too hot, making it to around 90 degrees by the 5 o'clock hour. A little bit above average when it comes to both our high and low temperatures, at least, or actually our high temperatures. Notice tomorrow below average when it comes to our morning temperature of 63 degrees. Then we will make it back to 68 before we drop back down into the mid 60s. So pleasant conditions in the morning. It will be a little bit cooler, but some hot and humid conditions by the afternoon. We're going to see our highs make it into those low to mid 90s, getting up to 95 on a Wednesday with the humidity feeling more so like anywhere from 97 to 100 degrees. So nothing we can't handle, but it's not quite fall yet, even though we are into September now. For our future cast tomorrow morning, there's those clouds headed in our direction. Notice no showers or storms, though. High pressure still keeps us dry. Still showers and storms developing, though, in that part of the country over the next couple of days. Also, a cold front headed in our direction as well. Still dry, though, all of Wednesday. Just a mix of sun and clouds. Can't rule out a sprinkle here or there, but for the most part, keeping it dry. An increase in moisture, though, ahead of this cold front, and that'll bring us some rain eventually on Friday and into the weekend. Now, when it comes to the tropics, it is still very busy out there. No named storms at this time, but by 11 o'clock tonight, we could have our next named storm. That would be Lee. I'm watching this low pressure area. That's at a 100% chance of development. So any moment now, this will become Lee. Also, a wave off the coast of Africa. Pretty decent chance of development there. And then this is actually the leftovers of post-tropical cyclone Franklin that could potentially redevelop, but will not be a threat for us. Let's go back to that low pressure system, though. That's going to head towards the Caribbean and then out into the open Atlantic. And a lot of models are indicating that this will become a pretty strong storm, possibly a major hurricane. Now, where it goes from there, it's still a question. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on that in the days to come. Our lows tonight will be in the low 60s, highs tomorrow in the low 90s. A nice day. Just a couple degrees above average, but we will heat up even more on Wednesday, 95. Mostly sunny on Wednesday and Thursday, 94 degrees. Then over the weekend, adding a little bit of rain into the forecast, around a 20 to 30% chance, and then upper 80s over the weekend and next week as well.
Sounds like a winner for me this week. You know, nice dry week. We
Yes.
deserve it after last week.
Yeah, no tropical storms or hurricanes for now.
For now.
For now.
For now. All right. Well, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce reports a majority of states have more job openings now than before the pandemic. Right now, Georgia has 57 available workers for every 100 jobs, and South Carolina has 55 for every 100 jobs. The Labor Department is reporting that nearly 190,000 jobs were added in August, about 17,000 more than expected. Dr. Stephen Simmons at Aiken Tech does not believe these shortages will end soon due to the pandemic and retirement rates.
We were told back in 2020 there was going to be the big meltdown and all these individuals were retiring. My personal belief is that the financial crisis of 2008, 2009 encouraged those individuals to stay in the workplace a lot longer. But now in 2020, 2023, they are finally saying, yeah, I'm in my late 60s, early 70s, it's time for me to go.
Dr. Simmons says that after the pandemic, so many people got used to working from home, and companies may have to blend in person and virtual where possible to keep employees. When coverage you can count on continues, we'll take a look at the race for the White House, how candidates are beginning their political campaigns.
Your local agent, Minister T. Myers, the Country Boy, today.
Gear up for great adventures from Lionel Smith Limited.
And last but not least, one 10-year-old is getting a lot of attention.
A power crew is giving her business some attention after outages were reported in the area.
Shamir Owens has the story.
This is 10-year-old Kaylee Bemis. She's the owner of Kaylee Jean Creations.
We have a shop on Facebook, and we also have a rack at Bunker Hill Market, and we sell air fresheners, keyring bracelets, and kids bracelets.
Kaylee says she set up shop last Tuesday in front of her home in Dansville when a power crew pulled up in their trucks.
And they were like, "Do you guys have your power back?" And I was like, "Yes." And they drove past and they came back and they all started walking up and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool."
And to Kaylee's surprise, they made a big purchase.
One guy was like, "I want to buy this whole table." Well, then after they all bought their own stuff, this one guy paid for everything, and he was like, "Here is your money," and he handed me a $100 bill and said, "You can keep the change."
Her first $100 bill during a time she says the crew was hard at work.
I think that was really nice of them, actually, because they were probably really busy going around and asking people if they got their power back, and they stopped here and asked me what I was selling, and that was nice of them.
Kaylee says she's thankful and hopes the guys enjoy their items.
Thank you very much. That really made my day super happy.
Oh my goodness, Elsie. I remember my first $100 bill. It was a very big moment.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
So I know how Kaylee feels.
Yeah.
It's a big moment.
Businesswoman starting early.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, she can work on the news too. She's well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We
very
need to get
skilled.
your resume. Send it to us.
Yes. Our 10-day forecast is showing some pretty nice conditions all this week. We will be getting a little bit hotter, high of 92 tomorrow, but the morning will be on the cooler side, low of 63. Back up to 67 for your Wednesday morning and a high of 95, feeling a bit more humid, but no rain for now.
Well, the news continues at the top of the hour on WJBF News Channel 6 at 11.
Hogan's Heroes next here, UTV.
Now for your winning Powerball number, it is Lucky 13, and that power play multiplier is 3.
We had a beautiful Labor Day weekend, a little bit cooler, plenty of sunshine. Well, that sunshine is sticking around all this week. However, we will be heating up a bit. I'll have all those details coming up.
Now on News Channel 6 at 11, a local man saves a life on an Atlanta highway. We'll share his heroic story. Plus, a local high school bans tailgating at football games for the rest of the season. We'll tell you why. And millions of people hit the road today. We'll tell you how gas prices may impact your wallet as your news at 11 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I am Tiffany Hobbs. Thank you so much for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with a drowning at Points West Army. First check of the forecast. Here's meteorologist Jenna Petracci. Jenna, what do we have?
Well, it was beautiful over the weekend.
Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Well, it is time now for a first check of the forecast. Here's meteorologist Jenna Petracci. Jenna, what do we have?
Well, it was beautiful over the weekend, Tiffany. Lots of sunshine, some cooler temperatures, and the good news is that the sun is sticking around. Cooler temperatures, not so much. Tomorrow morning, though, will be in the low 60s, so we'll take it. It's a nice clear night as well. Our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam over in Swainsboro, looking nice right now. Today's high temperature was 92 degrees. When we look back over the past several Labor Days, you can see we are anywhere from the upper 80s usually all the way up to the upper 90s. Last year we were at 89 degrees, so a few degrees warmer this year. And you can see it's a few degrees warmer as well compared to 24 hours ago. 6 degrees warmer, in fact, in Augusta, 4 degrees warmer in Aiken, putting us all in the low 70s right now, right at 70 degrees here in town, 72 in Louisville and Millen. Allendale, you're at 75. Wrightsville also at that 70-degree mark, and 73 in Waynesboro. Clear skies for everyone. However, I am watching a complex of showers and storms around the Mississippi Valley along the border of Tennessee and Missouri. This is also bringing a lot of cloud cover that's headed in our direction. However, high pressure is still in control, keeping us dry for now, and I'm not expecting any rain in the forecast over the next several days. Just a few of those clouds moving into the area overnight. Winds are nice and calm here in the metro, Aiken County. Winds coming in from the south, only up to 5 miles per hour down in Wrightsville. Now for your Tuesday morning, a few areas of patchy fog, partly cloudy as well. Temperatures climbing to that 90-degree mark by the 2 o'clock hour. And as we go into the next several days, we will have above average temperatures just by a hair, feeling more hot and humid. That heat index back to around the 100-degree mark, keeping it dry as well, so no heat relief from any rain. But then over the weekend, we'll be back to around a 20 to 30% chance. So I'll have all those details coming up, but back to you, Tiffany.
Thanks, Jenna. Labor Day weekend might be coming to a close, but the high gas prices remain.
WJBF News Channel 6.
The inflation rate decreased in Georgia. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics report also shows that food prices are up 5% over the last year, including cereals and beverages. Energy prices are down, and so is produce. But meat costs are higher. It's also not the best time to buy a house.
So that largely is due to the lag in terms of the way spending, decreased during the pandemic, and what's now become an increase in supply. People are out and about. And so what you see is you still see a reduction in the consumer price index, which is great, but at the same time, people are still, feeling the pinch.
The Department of Labor says both Georgia and South Carolina's unemployment rates are lower than the national average. People in Burke County are reacting to school leaders canceling Burke County's high school's tailgating activities. Nikita Dennis has that story.
It was fun, and now they're canceling it for no reason, because of fights.
Burke County High School released a statement in August stating due to a number of circumstances, they've decided to cancel the school's homecoming tailgate. Some say they believe it's for safety reasons.
I understand that they cancel it for security reasons.
You know, it's unfortunate. People just want to have a good time and tailgate. Hopefully they can bring it back.
Fights have been reported on campus. School officials say the homecoming game and all other activities will resume as normal.
There's been so many fights, so many issues. I can understand why they canceled it, but you know, I think in time you'll be able to tailgate again and bring it back.
Students who attend the high school say it's something they were looking forward to.
I mean, if they don't want us to tailgate, then we can do something else. But if we're not doing nothing else, then we might as well tailgate.
In Jefferson County, the community came together to mourn lives lost to gun violence. There have been 10 drive-by shootings in Jefferson County this year alone. A 7-lap walk was held on Saturday morning to raise awareness and memorialize those who have lost their lives. People who took part in it say they want to see a change in their community.
A rash of violent crimes, murders, shootings on a regular basis. Major drug busts have come through our area, and we're coming together today as a community to demand and let our community know that we're coming together to stop it.
The walk also gave people and RINs a chance to offer their ideas for solutions to the sheriff's office. He is a leader in Augusta. Tuesday at 12:30 on Jenny. Coming up, we will take a look at our full forecast with Jennifer Trashy. And if you are looking for a job on this Labor Day, we have the place for you. We'll tell you more after the break.
Pop the champagne. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live 5/6.
Good Monday evening and happy Labor Day. You're taking a look at a time lapse over at Augusta Regional Airport. It was a beautiful Labor Day weekend. We had plenty of sunshine, nice and dry all weekend long, and clear skies now with a temperature of 70 degrees. It's feeling really nice outside. Dew points are a little bit lower, sitting at 69 degrees. We don't have to worry about any super high humidity this week. However, temperatures will be heating up just a tad. I'll get into that in just a moment. But in the meantime, still on the cooler side, sitting in those low 70s. I'm expecting some low to mid 60s when you head out the door tomorrow morning. 73 in Crawfordville and Washington, 75 in Lincolnton, 75 as well in Bamberg, and 74 just to the southwest in Sylvania. So clear skies for everyone, not much activity on satellite and radar. High pressure is still in control. However, I am watching a complex of showers and thunderstorms out towards the west. This is due to an upper level low, and we are seeing some pretty strong storms there. Now, luckily, this is not going to be impacting us, but I am expecting some of these clouds to move into our area overnight tonight. So we'll call it partly cloudy, and that'll be the case throughout the day on our Tuesday, heating up to around 90 degrees by the 5 o'clock hour. High of 92 tomorrow, so we are going to be a couple degrees above average, but our low temperatures still below average at 63 degrees, then going up to 67 for our Wednesday morning, right at average on Thursday at 68, and then a little bit cooler over the weekend. Now, as for those highs, we are going to climb into the mid-90s starting on Wednesday and 94 for your Thursday. Now, when you factor in the dew points, even though they are on the lower side, it's still going to be feeling more so like the triple digits, so nothing we can't handle. But now that it's in September, we are wanting some fall-like weather, and that won't be the case for now. Still feeling pretty hot. So there's the high pressure over our area. This is Tuesday at 6 a.m. Clouds moving in, some areas of patchy fog possible as well. Can't rule out a sprinkle or two tomorrow, but for the most part, we are dry. I am watching a cold front come in, and this will increase our moisture as we go into Thursday and Friday, but all Thursday, still keeping it dry. There's that high pressure down in the Gulf of Mexico, but we'll bring in a chance of rain Friday into the weekend. Now, no activity when it comes to the tropics close to home. The East Coast looking good, Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico looking good for now, but we are watching some areas of activity, more so near the coast of Africa. One of those is a low pressure system that's at a 100% chance of development. So any moment now, this will become our next named storm, which will be Lee. And also just to the north of that, we have another system at a pretty good chance of development. That's a wave off the coast of Africa. And up here, this is the remnants of post-tropical cyclone Franklin that we've been talking about for weeks now. That could possibly redevelop, but that will not be a concern. Now, our main issue is that area of low pressure. That's Invest AL95, and it is going to strengthen as it moves across the Atlantic. Now, we don't know what will happen from here. There's a few different scenarios, but a lot of models are indicating this could become a major hurricane. And from there, where exactly it'll go is still a question. So we'll be keeping an eye on that very closely over the next several days. But our lows tonight will be in the low to mid 60s, a little bit on the cooler side. Nice tomorrow in the low 90s. And your 10-day forecast looking pretty good this week. Plenty of sunshine, just getting a little bit hotter. High of 95 on Wednesday, 94 on Thursday. Then cooling down a bit over the weekend. We'll see those upper 80s again all the way into next week with around a 20 to 30% chance of rain. And then 84 next Thursday, so getting even cooler. So a little bit of a taste of fall as we go into next week, but this week 95, still feeling like summertime.
Oh, it definitely is. But I don't know about you, but I am so looking forward to that fall feel.
Yes.
Oh, that weather is so
Yeah, and to
beautiful.
see the leaves change. That'll
Favorite
be
part,
nice.
those
Can't
oranges, those reds,
wait. Yes,
yellow.
it'll be here before we know it.
Oh, it will. Well, anyone looking for labor on Labor Day, you have a good chance of finding one with Augusta University tomorrow. The school is looking to fill a variety of different positions. A hiring fair will be held from 2 until 4 at Goodwill Job Connection on Peach Orchard Road. If you can't make it tomorrow, the school holds these every month. And to apply, you can head on to augusta.edu/careers. Well, up next, worker strikes continue from the East Coast to the West Coast. We'll take a look at how these strikes may impact the economy after the break. But first, the winning numbers for tonight's South Carolina lottery are 5, 6, 4. And the pick 4 winning numbers are 8, 3, 6, and 4. And that fireball is 2.
You can think it. We can ink it. TNT Printwear.
Well, everyone, scientists have recreated a fragrance that's beyond vintage. It is called the scent of eternity. It's what they believe mummies smelled like more than 3,500 years ago. It was re-engineered from an elaborate mummification of an ancient Egyptian noblewoman. Beeswax, plant oil, fats, and tree resin are just some of the ingredients. The scent will be on display to smell at a museum in Denmark this fall, and a model jar that's just to look at is already on display at the Met in New York.
Nope.
So I have questions.
Me too.
Is it a pleasant smell, or because like old books,
Right.
old bookstores smell good. Like there's a richness about it,
Musky, a little
I
musky.
don't know about mummies though.
Yeah, and who came up with that? Like, how do you even come up with the idea for that? That's interesting. Well, the forecast looks great this week. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, heating up a bit. 95 for your Wednesday, 94 on Thursday. Heat index back to around 100, but no rain until Friday.
Well, that is our report for now. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to download our mobile app for breaking news and weather. And the next news is at 4:30 a.m. with Mary Morrison and Bartlett Bishop. Good night.